This is my favorite squeeze pattern, and after going through thousands of them across 22 years of data, it's honestly the one setup I've come to trust more than just about anything else. So let me walk you through exactly what this setup is and why it tends to work the way it does. Let's start with the basics first, because a squeeze really just means a stock has gone quiet when the range tightens up and volatility starts to drop off. You can see this in price when you see price starting to wind down tighter and tighter. On our charts, you'll see that show up as the squeeze dots turning red, black, or yellow, which is really the market holding its breath before it decides to make a move. Now, most traders stop right there because they see the squeeze and they're waiting for it to fire. They pile into the breakout along with everybody else at some random arbitrary point, whether that's a pullback to a key moving average or something of that nature. And that's exactly where the problem starts, because if you wait for a pullback, statistically, that has proven not to work, and if you wait for the squeeze to actually fire, by the time the squeeze fires, it's too late for you to actually enter the move. You're entering along with the entire crowd. The slingshot squeeze is different and it solves both of these problems. Because it isn't just waiting for the squeeze on its own, it's a squeeze that's lining up with two other things at the same time to bring together a very specific pattern that allows you to profit. Now, here's the sequence that unfolds underneath the slingshot squeeze, and it starts the way you would expect. It starts with the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels tightening as the stock goes quiet, and the squeeze starts to set up. Now, that's when you'll see the red and black dots typically show up underneath price, yellow if we're starting to see a really rare squeeze. Now, the second piece here is layering on trend, where the moving average stack on its own tends to give you some additional filter value. You can already tell which way the pressure is pointing well before the move shows up using moving averages or the market pulse, whichever you like. The key information that you're getting here is trend. Now, the third piece is really the part that matters most, and it's when that momentum is quietly shifting. You can see that with the histogram starting to turn and the market underneath starting to give you clues with volume, money flow, and the actual market itself, the market breadth, giving you clues that, hey, this stock, which was once asleep, is now starting to wake up and starting to show signs of momentum kicking in. When all three of those things stack up together at once, that's a slingshot squeeze. And when that finally fires, when you get that green dot, you'll see that a lot of these moves tend to be really nice rewards because you're not chasing anything anymore. You're already positioned well before the squeeze fires at the entry point that was most ideal for this particular setup. You found out about this squeeze a few bars before the crowd even caught on. And that's really why this is my favorite. I went back and I measured every single one of these slingshot squeezes that's set up over the past 22 years. And most of them tend to just run. Almost half never even pull back at all. And the ones that do pull back, I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive later on, but there's a very specific amount that the stock tends to pull back for the winners before you see that coil springs right back up in the direction of the trend. So the slingshot squeeze, it's not really magic. It's not some brand new indicator either. I lay out the full formula in the squeeze course. It's really just a sequence, a methodology that you can see playing out every single time. And it's a system to trade the squeeze in a way that actually helps you skew the edge on your side. If you'd like to learn more about the slingshot squeeze, our research, our methodology, the system, all of that good stuff, be sure to check out our new website, squeezesetups.com. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, else I'll see you in our next update.